You're confusing me. I'm slowing myself down here. Okay, what tables are open back there? Any tables
Welcome to the B-side, featuring VinceBull versus PeterHsu, a race to 2, and Peter to break. Peter has been put on the B-side by Terry Erie, and he is determined to get back on the A side. Peter breaks, but it's a dry break, nothing goes down. Looking at the table, I personally think high ball looks really nice. The low ball has a problem 2 ball, and possibly the 6. I'm not sure whether it goes to the top right corner, but it's hard to tell from this camera angle. And Vince, I think he will decide to take low ball. As I mentioned, the low ball does have some problem balls. The high ball, well, the balls are pretty well spread. Anyways, the 5 ball for on the low ball doesn't look too good right now. So Peter is very happy to take the 9 ball to the top right corner. He's pretty well forced to take the 12 on the top left, or the 10 ball on the bottom right. Peter decides to take the 10 ball. He doesn't like twin ball positions, like the 2 balls were very close to each other, and Peter thinks those are problem balls. Well, Peter didn't do a very good shot. His cue ball collided with the 8, which slowed it down. So Peter didn't quite get the position he wanted. His cue ball is in what I call the snuggle of death. It's rubbing against 2 of the high balls, and he can't really see the 12. So Peter says he'll go off the 11 and get the 12 in. Unfortunately, the shot doesn't go too well. And now Peter has 2 problem balls clustered around the 8, and Vince has the 5 and the 4. Those are his problem balls. But I think Vince will shoot the 6, and the cue ball should come back and break those problem balls out for him. Let's see if Vince will be doing that. Bingo! Yes. Yes, and Vince successfully broke out the 4 and the 5. And now Peter's 12 ball is looking very problematic. There's no way for him to shoot it unless he had ball in hand. But maybe Vince will be nice enough to free the ball for him, which he will do after he finishes this shot. Take the 4, Vince. We need you to take the 4. Pretty please. I guess not. Vince decides to go for the 1 ball by the side pocket. Yeah, that may or may not be a good thing. The 4 ball is blocking the 12, my 12. So it'll be difficult for Peter to do a run out. Meanwhile, Vince is successfully doing his own run out. There shouldn't be any problems for him to take the 3 balls down on the bottom side of the table, but he does need to get back to the top where the 4 is. The 4 is partially screened by the 12, so Vince has to be very careful to get the cue ball up there to see it. But will he successfully bring the cue ball up after shooting the 2 and the 7? Vince needs to get position after shooting the 2 on the 7, so the cue ball goes up table. Does Vince have the angle? Well, kinda. It's Vince really needs a deeper angle. Right now it's a bit shallow, so Vince may have to put some inside stuff or hit the ball hard enough the cue ball will go to the middle of the table. And looks like Vince is doing the hard shot. And crazy cue ball action. Vince would have hooked himself had the ball go in, so in a way it's good fortune for him. Peter has no shot. Peter could try to cut the ball to the side pocket. I'm not sure what that ball is. It could be the 11, but the bottom left corner awaits for the cue ball. So Peter has to put a lot of bottom. Peter's calling a safety. There's no way he could cut it into the side pocket. So what Peter will do is a nice safety, leaving the cue ball near the bottom left corner. So Vince has no shot. While Vince can hit the 7, it's not going to go into any pocket. So Vince will call a bank. He's going to bank the 7 into the top left corner. So Vince is measuring out the angle. The cue ball should move to the middle of the table after this shot, giving Vince a nice look at the 4 ball. And Vince is taking his time. It's a race to 2 is a very short, high pressure environment. There's no recovering if he misses and gives his opponents a shot. It's usually game over. Well, the bank didn't pan out. The 7 ball hit the 14, and Peter is left with a tough shot. Now, Peter's looking at the 11. It should go into the top right corner, but for any reason, if Peter misses, Vince will be able to run out the table because the cue ball will be left where Vince can see both his balls. So Peter decides to do a semi-safety. It's a 2-way shot. He's going to cut the ball to the side pocket. But should he miss, Peter should... well, Peter missed. And he got a bit lucky. He knocked Vince's 7 ball into the 14. And now Vince doesn't really have a shot. It's possible for Vince to cut the 4 ball into the top left corner. but you'd have to be really skilled to do that and get the cue ball to see the 7 as well. So anyways, I think Peter is lucky to be in this position. The problem ball right now is the 12. It only sees the bottom left corner, and Peter has to get the cue ball above the 12 ball in order to shoot it. So Peter will now, well, he chickened out. He didn't try to get the cue ball behind the 12. He put inside on this shot, so the cue ball actually goes away from, well, it goes down table. And unfortunately for Peter, it worked out too well. Now he doesn't really have a shot. Peter is playing very chicken-like. Unfortunately, playing chicken doesn't work with players like Terry Erie. Peter played chicken with him and got hammered for his trouble. And he gets hammered later, again, by Terry. Anyway, so Peter does a safety. He knows Vince cannot see the 7. So Vince is forced to cut the 4 ball again. Although Vince has a much better angle this time, it's still a tough cut for Vince because the cue ball has to see the 7 after this shot. So theoretically, the cue ball has to bounce off the rail twice. So Vince will have to smack it a bit to get the cue ball to bounce twice. Because if it bounces once, he will not. Well, okay, it did bounce once, but Vince missed. He cut too fat, so Peter now has a chance to run the table, and he decides to go for the 12 and draw back, a very short draw. Now he can see the 14. The cue ball is snuggled up to the 4, so but that's no problem. He didn't quite bring the cue ball back far enough, but it's still a good angle. Peter would like the cue ball to go off the rail and into the middle of the table. So very nicely done. And Peter has a dead straight shot on the 8 ball. That's game 1 for Peter. Well, Peter didn't start off the tournament too well, so he's playing rather conservatively, taking no chances because should a chance not work out, it can be fatal. So Peter is doing a mix of safeties, and he's really not making too much of an attempt to do a first attempt or anything like that. Anyways, but the table looks pretty nice right here. The high balls look extremely nice. The only problem ball might be the 12, which is snuggled right next to the 8, and screened by the 1 and the 5. But Peter will decide to take high ball, and he will shoot the 13, I believe. And he will now leave the 15 where it is. He decides he wants it as a breakout ball for the 14. So he will put down the balls on top of the table and bring the cue ball down. And and then try for his breakout then. So the next ball is the 13. It looks straight in, but there's actually a slight angle Peter can use to get the cue ball off the rail. And Peter sees the 9. And Peter's checking out the breakout angle. And so Peter will have to get the cue ball at the right angle after he takes out the 9 and the 10. Let's see how he does. First 9, using a stop shot. Dominic Grenier has been very good showing Peter how to do stop shots, you know. Peter's problem with stop shots is it tends to drift left or right. Anyway, so Peter's very conscious of the angle on the 15. So he's gonna make sure that after the 10 goes in, he will have the right angle. So, and this is a straight in shot, and it's pretty ideal. Peter believes he has the right angle, but he will hit it skinny and put inside top on it, because he wants the angle coming off the rail to be very shallow. And this he did, except he doesn't quite have a shot. So Peter's going to resort to the carom. He's going to shoot the 10 ball off the 1. And he's going to go for the side pocket. But for this shot, he needs to put a lot of top. And yes, it works. Really nice shot. Unfortunately, the 8 does not go into the bottom right corner. Peter is forced to cut it into the bottom left, which is nearly impossible because he doesn't have the angle in retrospect. He's going to try it anyway. Peter's hoping the 8 ball will kind of drift towards the pocket and maybe plug it. But in retrospect, this is a terrible shot because the shot is wide. He never got the 8 ball even close to the corner pocket. And worst of all, he's buried the 8 below the 1 and the 5 and the 3. So Peter will spend the next couple of shots digging out the 8. Unless Vince does something to help him out, but I think Vince will recognize Peter's predicament and not do too much to help out. So Peter protests that Vince hooked him. Anyways, so the question here is, can Peter go off the rail next to the 5 and get the 8 in? But it's quite possible by shooting hard, he'd compress the cue ball into the rail and then miss the 5. But it's a very dangerous shot. Peter gives up on the idea. Peter does not want to break out the 5, 1 and the 3 for Vince. So Peter will just kick at the 8 and hopefully, yes, that's a very good shot. The 8 has been kicked into the middle of the table, and even though Vince has a good shot on the 3, his 1 and 5 is, well, he'll have to shoot those with really fine accuracy, and he should attack the 5 and the 1 right now, because he may not have another angle like this one. So just a nice clean straight shot. and Vince does it. The one goes in, and it looks like a easy run out table for Vince. The 7 is next, and then the 2 on the bottom rail. But okay, very nice shot. Now Vince, it's almost straight on, so Vince has to hit it at a slight angle and even put spin on the ball so the cue ball will go back to the middle of the table. And I find most people shoot this shot too hard, and that's what exactly Vince did. He hammered it, and it, instead of going to the middle of the table, it goes right to the top end. So this is not good news for Vince, because he has to shoot off the rail, and he has to get the 6 ball past the 5. It's a difficult shot even for A players. Vince almost does it, except the 6 ball clips the 5, and the shot goes AWOL. Peter has a shot on the 8. He's mindful of the side pocket, and so he will stun the cue ball into the rail.